Being one of a kind. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast of The Ordinary Maverick. This is Ajay, your host, reaching out to you from a very, very cold and snowy Minneapolis, an ordinary maverick sharing real life thoughts, experiences, and maverick tips. In today's podcast, I'm going to share something about being one of a kind. Now, my take is that this can apply to a product or it can also apply to an individual. Taking pride in your own unique qualities and building on them, which in turn facilitates in making one stand out, and that to my mind is the maverick way. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's speak about the one-of-a-kind product. Many years ago, I stumbled upon an article in the Sunday newspaper talking about a gentleman who built one-of-a-kind custom-made radios and music systems through the 60s and the 80s. Owning his system was a matter of pride as commented by users who owned one and they swore by it. The systems were so robust that they had been using them for the last 2 or 3 decades without an issue. Yes, you heard it right. He built unique music systems, one of a kind, custom and handmade. Being music mad? Yes, I absolutely love music and so do all in our family. Particularly playing your favorite song to the loudest and losing yourselves in the strains of the music. It's good once in a while, right? Well, the love of music got me intrigued when I read about this custom-built music system, and I set out to find out more. The gentleman, Mr. Nakra, lived in a suburb in New Delhi, the capital city of India. I found his number and reached out to him to learn more and possibly order my own system. Mr. Nakra was extremely polite. He did not say anything when I called him. He said, "Yes, you are most welcome to come and visit me, although I have stopped making my music systems." I kind of brushed this aside. I said, "In any case, let me come and meet you." I reached his place and met this gentleman. He was in his 80s then. He was immaculately dressed, very agile for his age, and he spoke passionately about his music and his music systems. He knew each and every frequency. He knew each and every component that went into his music systems. And more importantly, despite, having given up making any more music systems, he still had a small workshop. I requested Mr. Nakra if he would allow me to hear music through one of his systems kept in the living room. He obliged, and I was completely immersed in the music throughout the time that I was sitting there sipping on a cup of tea which Mrs. Nakra offered me. I couldn't stop talking about the music system with Mr. Nakra, and I constantly kept telling him that why did you stop? You could have passed on this trade or, this learning to somebody else and who could have, carried on his legacy. And Mr. Nakra only laughed and he says, "Ajay, there's only so much I can do given my age. And, I'm happy with what I have done. And I'm really glad that although you don't own a system of mine, you are so passionate about it and you really enjoyed it." I left his place with only one request that Mr. Nakra, should you decide to make 1 or 2 more such systems in the future, please do bear in mind that I would be first in the queue to possess that, and I'll be happy to come down and, buy one. Months passed. About 4 months down the line, I get a call from Mr. Nakra saying that, "Ajay, I'm custom building 2 such systems and I would be happy to offer one of them to you, and given your passion and your love for the system that I have built." I was super delighted. I ended up buying the system, and I've had the system in my possession for now good 15 years. Absolutely chic, absolutely sharp, given that the system has been performing at its top best even after so many years. So this is what it means to have a unique product, a legacy, something that, you keep enjoying. And you know what? Just the other day, I came across something very interesting. Something else that's also a very unique product, the Hagoromo chalk. It is a cult favorite of elite academics, artists, and others around the world who praise it for its silky feel, vibrant colors, scant dust, and nearly unbreakable quality. Let me share something about this chalk. It's actually quite a fascinating story. Hagoromo is the most celebrated name in chalk. Now we remember using slates as kids and having all these chalks that used to be used by teachers in schools on the blackboards. Remember how we loved writing on the blackboard and then using the duster to erase. it was considered such a privilege to be called out to clean the blackboard, or in fact decorate the blackboard for special days, as well as write the thought for the week or thought for the day on the blackboard. Nowadays, of course, it's all changing, has changed, and we have whiteboards or we have digital boards, right? But the feeling of using chalk and writing on the blackboard remains fresh in my mind even today, and it seems like it was yesterday. So back to the Hagoromo story. Despite it being so famous and a cult of its own, it is still produced on a relatively small scale, using custom-made equipment and mostly run by two persons who are identical twins. It all started in 1932 in Japan, from where the chalk was made for a good 80 years by Mr. Watanabe. However, competition was faced with the increasing digitalization, and the company announced a shutdown in 2014. However, at this point, a gentleman from South Korea, Mr. Shin, a teacher himself, who had been using the chalk and taking it back home for over 10 years, offered to take over the company. He was refused. He persisted. And he recalls saying that his pitch to Mr. Watanabe was, "There are so many things in this world that will disappear one day, but the best quality item should be the last to do so." Isn't that so true? We should do all we can to keep the good quality stuff. And so the chalk is now produced in South Korea, keeping the Hagoromo quality going, and also serving as a connect between two countries. Can you imagine that? Can you see the pattern here? Is the maverick spirit, of course, of being true to what we believe in and keep going forward. Each one of us has a unique gift. It's one of a kind. Go with your gut here. Look into yourself and find that one of a kind thing that is so unique to you. Could be your sense of humor, your empathy, your intellect, your enthusiastic spirit, just about anything. And let me tell you a tip here. Do anything with your full and complete heart and soul. It will be one of a kind for sure. Just like the music system and the amazing Hagoromo chalk. Write in your comments, share your feedback. I would love to hear from you. And for some more Maverick tips, do subscribe to the Ordinary Maverick podcast. This is Ajay signing off and wishing you an amazing day ahead. Keep well, keep safe.